This video is going to be an warts and all run through of how to set up a dashboard in Julia using Dash. So the first thing we're going to do is to install the Dash package. So I've opened up my IDE, my Juno in Atom. I've run Julia through the REPL, and we've got a script ready that we did work with previously in the last video. If you want to check out how to run scripts, I've done it in the last video, but the short version is just to use this include line. So first thing to do in getting dashboard set up is to switch to package, and then we add Dash, the dashboard one. Now hopefully this will work because it's slightly different to the documentation on the website, which I've got open here on another screen in case something goes wrong. So we're adding Dash. I'll come back in a second when that's done. Okay, so it looks like we do have to follow the instructions on the package website because it looks like this doesn't work. So let's go back to the command prompt and actually do what the instructions say. Fancy that. So we start by using package, and then package.add package spec URL equals, and I'll include the link to the instructions below, but feel free to follow along as I'm doing it. github.com lead-jl.gits. Okay, and that should be, yeah, there we are. So we're adding Dash now properly. Excellent. So that's, I think what we're doing here is adding Dash via a different address in GitHub rather than the Julia registry's address. I'm not too sure why that is. This is apparently the latest version, but I don't know why. I'm new to learning Julia myself. I've been programming for 20 years now, but it's the first time I'm using Julia, and I thought a data analysis language, it would be a great idea to set up a dashboard. So excellent, that seems to be done. Let's go and modify our script to start the dashboard process. So we don't need this information anymore. What we're going to do is start by using Dash. Now, Dash is going to show us a dashboard using our own web browsers. So it's going to be an HTML-based dashboard, which means we need to include Dash HTML components and Dash core components. Okay, so the UI, the user interface for our dashboard is going to be our own web browser. I'm using Firefox in this case. Now, let's use our, okay, so the first command recommended in the instruction manual is to use external style sheets. Okay, HTTPS, and this looks like a style sheet hosted on CodePen from, I assume this person is the author, bwllwgp.css. Okay. So what we're doing is we're starting Dash on, we're assigning Dash to an app. We're opening it up using an external style sheet. And we've got the style sheet there hosted on CodePen. It's not my style sheet. It's probably the author of this instruction manual. So the next thing we're going to define is a layout for our app. Now, it looks like the Julia syntax for working with HTML is to follow this HTML underscore, and then this is the HTML tag. I've done this, I usually work with JavaScript and React, so this is interesting to see HTML tags used like this. However, not a problem. HTML h1 hello dash. So this is a bit of a hello world program. I always like to start with a hello world program as the instruction manual suggests, because it makes sure that everything's up and running for you. It makes sure that you've got all the packages installed, and then you can modify the Hello World program to suit your specific needs. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to start with the Hello World, and then I've got some statistics that I want to graph after that I want to show on the dashboard after that. So, let's set up our dashboard. Let's set up our Hello World dashboard first. I do find it interesting how in Julia interface for Dash, I do find it interesting how HTML is written in Julia. So, okay, so now we're getting into something that looks more like the graph itself. This is a sample example graph. Now they've defined a figure as their graph. It's got some data in it. X equals 1, 2, 3. Y equals 4, 4, 1, 2. It's a bar figure. And let's call it, they've called it SF. So I'm just copying off the manual here. Once this is all copied out, we'll modify it to be our own dashboard. I like to retype, if I'm giving an example, I like to retype it into my own script so that I get the feeling as I'm typing along what's being produced. So in this case, we're producing 2 plots on one figure. Oops, this should be in brackets. We're producing 2 plots on one figure that show Montreal versus San Francisco, I believe. And as I said, I don't like to, I prefer to type these out. Even if I make a mistake, it's still a learning experience. I'm new to Julia and I'll take any experience to learn that I can. It seems that figures support different types. Okay, that's our figure done there. I'll put in the layouts. So we're still on our figure. The layout is title equals dash data visualization. Okay, excellent. And now we go back and hit end. And then run server. So we're running, what we're doing with this command is running our app, which we've defined as dash. We're running our app on localhost 0.0.0.0 on port 8080. So this is the address we'll type into Firefox. Just save that. Include test.gl. Oops. So it says it's pre-compiling. So I haven't used Dash yet, which means that Dash has to compile to be run in Julia. This can sometimes take a while, so just bear with me for a minute. Okay, and we're back. It looks like there was an error in the Dash HTML components couldn't be found. So I don't know why that didn't install as a requisite of installing Dash, but that's okay. We'll follow the instructions here, and it suggests to add Dash HTML components. And now this will take another second to load, so I'll just be back in a second. Okay, and I'm back. So it looks like we need to do the same trick to add HTML components, where we do pkg.add package spec URL equals, and then the GitHub address for the package. Once this is set up coming up with a plot using Plotly and Dash should be a bit easier. Plotly/dash HTML components.get components.get. Okay. What have I done? I've made a mistake. pkg.add package spec URL equals GitHub/Plotly dash HTML components dot get. So I don't know what I've done here. Using package. Oops, using package. Okay, pkg.add. Good, perfect. pkg.add package spec URL equals https github.com/plotly/ HTML components dot get. Second bracket, that's what I was missing. Okay. So we're installing the HTML components package now. We had to type it in directly from the GitHub repository. It wasn't stored in the usual Julia registry. So it still doesn't seem too bad of a way to install packages. And I assume we're going to have to do the same with core components. So that finished running, but it didn't seem to work. Could not find project file in package GitHub dash plotly dash HTML components dot get. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, there was another bit. Let's try this command instead and see what happens there. Looks like it was stored as a revision instead. So this seems to be the latest development version that I'm using. Whereas, yeah, okay. So it's downloading the package here, hopefully doing it again. Hopefully it works a bit better. Okay, excellent. So it's all installed. Wasn't too much. Now we need to do the same for core components. So core components, it's the same. And for good measure, I think we'd better do it for dash table as well, which is the other one the installation instructions recommend. So again, this is just generating our Hello World example. We're going to add in our own data after that. In fact, I could probably add in using Excel files to begin with. And I've forgotten how to use Excel files, so let me just open that up. Okay, perfect. So I usually don't memorize any sort of API or code or how to do anything. Usually I just look everything up as I need it. It's served me well over 15 years of programming. So 15, 20 years, depends on how old I started. I started with BASIC back in the day, but quickly moved on to Visual Basic to try to make programs. But I think my first most successful program was with Python. It was a web application, and lately I've been doing a lot of work in JavaScript, particularly with Node and React. So I do like working with JavaScript, though I thought I'd try out Julia to see what it's like in data analysis and hopefully expand my own data analysis while sharing my experience with people on YouTube and hopefully helping out anyone that runs into the same stumbling blocks that I do getting onto this. Like it can be tough sometimes working with a new environment to understand all these different things you need to type in, different stages, where to find different files, what to look up. So hopefully my examples on this channel will show you how you can do it yourself, how stumbling blocks that you might run into and how we can go about solving them, what sort of research we can put into solving them. So please click subscribe below to get videos like this. I release one every few days that will go through some of the basics of Julia, getting some things done in Julia, and what sort of mistakes I make in Julia so that you can learn and not make those same mistakes yourself. Okay, and that looks like, no, there's still more to fetch. So I was hoping that it would be finished by now. I'll come back in this video when it is. Okay, it looks like Julia's finished installing the core components. And there's one more that we had to install, the dash table, just to make sure that we've got all of our bases covered. So these are the recommendations from the instructions on how to set up Dash. If you're interested in those instructions, simply open up Google, type in Julia Dash, and it will get you started on... It's step by step. You're going to copy and paste any of the code from this video. I prefer to type out all the code from instructions, where practical, of course, so that I get a feel for each line as it comes out. Okay, we're back. It looks like we've finished installing Dash Table, and now we should be able to execute our test.jl script. So let's do that. Of course, we have to compile the HTML components and core components and the HTML components and core components. I've used Excel files already on this computer. I used it in a previous video. If you hit subscribe, you'll be able to check that one out. It comes from... I did a video recently about how to open Excel files. It doesn't look like these components are going to take long to compile. So fingers crossed it won't be much longer. And then we've got enough information here to open up our dashboard in, I'm going to use Firefox, if everything runs appropriately from the REPL. So just to recap what we've done, because I know it feels like a while for me. Okay, excellent. So what's happened here is my computer's warning me that Julia wants to start a web server, wants to start communicating with the web. I'm saying that it will be okay to communicate on public networks. I'm connected to a public network at the moment, which is probably why it's ticked there. I've got full control over the Julia executable, I believe, so I'm going to allow it to do so, because all I'm doing is, as it says, running on local hosts, running on 0. So I'm going to go 0.0.0.0 slash, what did we call it? Colon 8080. No, okay, that didn't work. What's going on here? Is it an HTTP? Do we need to put in, oops. No, okay, local hosts, oops. You can see my other development websites there. Does this come up with our, there we go. So I need to put it in as localhost rather than 0.0.0.0. I assume that's a Firefox problem and not a Julia problem though. So it says it's loading, and here we go. So we've got our bar chart here. Excellent, things look good. Let's modify this chart to display, let's see if we can modify this chart to display our New Zealand births for women aged between 30 and 34, trending over the years. First of all, we have one type of data, so let's try removing this one. Save, and we'll kill that. And start it again. Oops. Start it again. So it doesn't look like there's, see, much quicker to start this time. So we only have one set of data for our bar chart, so we've got that. Okay. This is our dashboard we're building. It's more, yeah, it's a dashboard. Okay, we want to plot year along the bottom and births along the left-hand side. First of all, let's see what happens if we change this to be thousands. This is the way I experiment with the program, change a little something and see what it does. Usually, this is a habit I picked up from JavaScript, because when I'm doing React development, I get hot reload. However, for Julia, you need to reload the program each time. So that looks like it's fine. Okay. Now, what we have here is an array of data that uses this X and Y. what I think we can do is simply import our Excel file and then take Excel year and Excel births as the X and Y data here. So I don't remember how to do it off the top of my head. As I said, I always keep around a reference when I'm programming. So in this case, we need to use this Excel files, and we're going to use data tables as well. So Excel files, data tables. These are two from my earlier video about how to read Excel in Julia. This is how we did it. And then we simply did this line, data table load, etc. So we do, okay, let's try it out here. So after we create our output, before we lay it out, the data table equals data tables load births.xlsx, and sheet name, I think, is the next argument. Yep. Sheet name is the string 30. Okay. Just check to make sure that loaded. Okay. There are no errors in this. Yeah, okay. So I've made a mistake. It should be data table.load. Perfect. Okay. Nope, I've made another mistake. What have I done? This one's more important. No such file or directory. Okay. So I think I've got to load it. Perhaps I would load it before here. But alternatively, I know where I saved it, and I could do, yeah, okay. Let's try, I believe it's saved in users, Chris / that. I think you have to do double backslash to do paths in Julia. So let's try that. I think that's where I saved it. Okay, excellent. Yep, so that's where I've saved it. Let's clean up this code a little bit. I'm still going to leave that there. And instead of having X, we're going to have dt dot, oops, name to, what happened here? I don't know what happened. Let's just double check, make sure our test is still working. So that's running. This is running. Okay. So that was a strange error. I'm going to stop this time before I make a change. And we do dt.year. Oh, I think there's a problem when I don't know. And y equals dt dot, no, dot births. Okay, yep, go for it. I assume that's an error in this. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we now have a dashboard of births. Excellent. So we did manage it. As you can see, let's pick 2005. We had 17,976 births. 2005, we had 17,976. So there we go. So what we managed to do in this video is to set up a basic dashboard using the Dash package for Julia. We installed Dash. We installed some of the HTML and core components that go with it. We've installed packages, or we're using packages to read an Excel file, and we've put that Excel file into a dashboard. Hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see more videos like this. Please leave me a comment if you think I've missed anything or you'd like me to go over anything. If there's enough comments on the same topic, I'll make a video about it. Hope to see you in the next one.